Hi, friends. It's me, Yumi. I may be small, but today my heart feels heavy because I'm sharing the story of a hero, a dog named Bruno. He wasn't just a pet, he was a police officer, a rescuer, and a symbol of courage. But one day, someone made sure Bruno would never wake up again. And the way it happened? It was deliberate, cruel, cowardly. Today, I'm giving Bruno the voice he was denied. So let's begin. Bruno was a bloodhound, a breed known for their incredible sense of smell and gentle hearts. He was born in 2018 in Italy and raised in the coastal town of Taranto in the south. He served alongside his handler and trainer, Arcangelo Caressa, who trained him with love and discipline. Together, they became a search and rescue duo, volunteering for the Civil Protection Service. Bruno wasn't just trained to follow commands. He was trained to follow hope, to find the lost, the missing, the scared. And he did. He helped find 9 missing people during his career, 5 found alive, and 4 sadly not. But even in grief, Bruno brought closure. And for that, people called him a hero. He attended ceremonies. He was praised by Italy's Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. He was part of the community. He was family. But Bruno and his trainer didn't just search for the missing. They also exposed something darker: illegal dogfighting rings. Trainer Caressa was known for working with Endus, an organization that fights animal cruelty in Italy. They helped rescue dogs that had been beaten, abused, forced to fight for sport. And that made enemies. Caressa started receiving threats, rumors, lies. Even people in uniform started questioning his work. But he didn't stop. And neither did Bruno. They kept working, kept rescuing, kept believing that truth would protect them. But it didn't. On July 4th, 2025, everything changed. That morning, Arcangelo Caressa went to check on Bruno in his kennel. But Bruno wasn't barking. He wasn't pacing. He was lying there, motionless, silent. Bruno had been poisoned. Someone had tossed sausages laced with metal nails into his kennel, nails that tore through his throat, his stomach, his body. The suffering wasn't instant. It was slow, deliberate. Caressa cried beside him, held his body, and later said, "This morning I died with you. I hope you didn't suffer too long." But Bruno did suffer. He was targeted because he was a symbol of justice. Police opened an official investigation. They found the remains of the meat. They interviewed neighbors, reviewed security footage. Caressa gave names, people he believed had motive, people who didn't want the dogfighting rings exposed. And the evidence started pointing toward revenge. This wasn't an accident. It was a warning, not just to Caressa, but to every person who dares to fight cruelty. News of Bruno's murder spread fast, and Italy responded with outrage. Prime Minister Meloni called the act vile and cowardly. Animal welfare advocates held vigils. One editor wrote, "Bruno did more for Italy than many politicians ever will." Thousands of people shared his story online. Artists drew portraits, children wrote letters. Bruno had become more than a dog. He became a symbol of resistance to cruelty. Just 3 days before Bruno's death, Italy passed a new law, nicknamed the Brambilla Law. Under it, anyone convicted of animal abuse could face up to 4 years in prison, fines up to 60,000 euros. Animal rights leader Michela Brambilla filed a complaint under this law on Bruno's behalf. But many believe the punishment isn't enough. They're calling for Bruno's law, stronger sentences for those who harm service animals, because Bruno died in service. And yet, his killer walks free. Trainer Caressa has gone quiet. His grief is public and painful. He's posted only once since Bruno's death. "You were my shadow. I hope you're running free now. I will fight for you until I can't." There's an empty space in his home, an empty bowl, an empty bed, but there's also fire in his heart. Because Bruno wasn't just his partner. He was his best friend, his family, his soul dog. Bruno was more than just a hound. He was a hero, A gentle giant with a nose for justice. He made the world better. He stood up to evil. He gave everything. And someone took that away. But today, his voice lives on. Because I'll keep telling his story. And you, yes, you listening? You can help by sharing it, by standing up, by speaking out. If Bruno's story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and tell someone else. For Bruno, for justice, for every voiceless soul. I'm Yumi, the tiny terrier with a giant heart. And today, we remember a giant named Bruno. Thank you for listening. And thank you for caring.